Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy, and just wanted to walk you guys through the links in the pinned post. I know a lot of you had questions about this, but kind of walking you through step by step what all of this looks like, rather than a bunch of links on a page. I also created this little diagram here to show you. So basically, once this is all set up, you've got your Facebook ad. Your audience targeting will determine who on Facebook sees the ad. So this could be male, female, age ranges, people with certain interests. And then when they click the ad, they're all going to land on a landing page. Now this is also in the pinned post. If you want to use the landing page that we use internally, you could go create something similar on your own through WordPress or one of the other landing page software tools out there. But if you want to just use the one that I've linked in there, it's like a one-click install. You set up your account, and then you can go in there and edit it, change the city name, change the name of your business, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now, once someone fills out the contact form on the landing page, the other element that is very important is the follow-up sequence. So rather than the leads just coming in and you trying to email them all one time or call them, it's definitely important to follow up immediately. But there's also something called a follow-up sequence that will drip out text messages and emails to them, let's say daily, every other day, twice a week. You can set all of this up in a program called Active Campaign. I believe there's another one related to the real estate niche called Follow Up Boss or something like that. Very similar, and essentially it allows you to automate the follow-up process in addition to your outreach. So I definitely recommend, as a lead comes in, to try to give them a call multiple times. But these emails just kind of provide some information, maybe a link to homes in their price range, and helps you stay in front of them. Some people will, I just show 3 emails here, but, stretch this out over 6-8 months, maybe even a year, where, you're just constantly staying in front of them. As you probably know, the buying cycle for real estate, it could be pretty long. You could be looking for homes for a year or 6 months. So it may take some time for potential buyers to reach out to an agent to open up dialogue. So I'm going to jump right in to the post here. Again, we have all the links. This is the landing page. Use this link right here. It'll install the landing page that I'm going to show you here shortly. Active Campaign. This is for the follow-up sequence. Ad targeting cheat sheet. This is where, and this will make more sense when I get to this step, but I'm basically outlining all of the targeting options to really narrow down on those that are probably looking to move or buy a home right through the Facebook targeting. And then the example ad copy, I've added it to this sheet here. But if you click on this last link, it's kind of just a screenshot to show you what the ad looks like with that copy in it. And you can feel free to copy that and modify it as needed. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to set up your ads manager if you haven't already done this. I'm sure you already know that I do not recommend boosting posts. That's a very simple option that Facebook gives you when you're on your business page to start advertising for your business. You're really limited to a lot of the targeting options, some of the more advanced features. It's not that hard to go in through Ad Manager and create ads. So I just recommend doing it this way. You'll have so much more flexibility to again, targeting the ad objectives. There's a lot more objectives that you can eventually branch out into that you will not have access to when you're boosting posts. Okay, so depending upon whether you've set up your ad manager account yet or you're brand new, the options down here will be a little different. So it may say start advertising, or I forget what the option is if you've never set up your ad manager account. If it does say something along those lines, you know, start advertising or get started, click that and go set up your ad manager account first. Once that's done, then these options change to create ads or manage ads. If it already says manage ads, click on manage ads, and then that's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. And here's where I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create your campaign, the ad set, and the ads, and what the difference is between the three. So, you know, getting started, make sure you're on this tab here that says campaigns. And the campaign is where you set up your objective. So if you want to build brand awareness, if the objective is reach, you know, basically getting in front of the most amount of people, traffic, engagement, app installs, you know, there's a lot of different options. And you can play around with these and A/B test different campaigns. But for now, I want you to stick to what I'm showing you in this video, because this is what's, you know, what I feel is pretty much the easiest method to get started. And then, you know, you can duplicate your campaigns and change the objective once you've got that initial one set up. So for now, we're going to choose engagement. And we're just going to call this test engagement. And then hit continue. Now this brings us into the ad set. Remember, there are 3 tabs along the top. Now it's moved them over here. So in the ad set, this is where you set up your targeting. So where, you know, what area geographically you want to target users, the age ranges, things like that. So up here, you can name this whatever, test engagement, and then maybe do the city. Really, you want to be descriptive about what is going on in your targeting. So the city that you're targeting, maybe the age range, you know, you can call that whatever you'd like. So if you jump into this targeting sheet here, it's a lot of information, but once you go through and create these one time, you can save this as a custom audience. So I'm not going to do all of these, but, you know, for instance, you'd come in 26 to 65. We'll do men and women. We're going to remove United States, and you could do something like Chicago, Illinois, if you were targeting Chicago, and you can change the radius around the city of Chicago, or you can remove this completely. So if you want to just do 10 miles, you can also come up to, I think it's 50. Yeah, 50. And then you can remove this completely by hitting that target current city. So this will just target within the city limits of Chicago. Now, once you scroll down here, you're going to see detailed targeting. And this is where you can get very specific with all of these different interests. So let's just start with Zillow. So these are people that are interested in Zillow. On the right, you want to make sure that there's employer and then there's interests. So you see this is under the interest category. Just make sure that you're selecting Zillow for the interest and not Zillow, the employer. These are going to be people who work for Zillow. Do the same thing for Trulia. And then you're just going to go through this list. Behaviors likely to move. So as you start typing these, they should pop up. Now over on the right, you're going to see your potential reach increasing. Right now in the city of Chicago, just with these three targeting options, we're a little over 500,000. Okay, so once you've finished adding in all of the items from the Google Doc into this section here, you're going to want to come down to exclude people. So this is where you're going to exclude certain job titles like realtors or real estate investors, real estate agent. You're going to add each of these. Just make sure you're adding the job title. So real estate like this one here, real estate agent, broker. It's a job title. You're going to want to add that one. So just go through each of those and add those to this section here, and then it'll make sure that your ad shows to people who match any of the items that are listed up here, but are not, do not have a job title that matches any of the items listed here. So each of these items are listed under the exclude section. If there's anything else that you want to add, just kind of think through who you would not want to see your ad or who's not a qualified person, and then you can add them to that section there. So once you've done that, you're going to scroll down to the placements section and go to edit placements. So you're actually going to turn off everything except for Facebook feeds. So turn off instant articles, in-stream videos, suggested videos, all of these. And you're left with just a Facebook feed, and you can leave it on all devices so it'll show up on mobile and desktop. And then when you come down to your budget and schedule, you can change this to whatever you're comfortable with. You can maybe set it at $5 a day to start. A lot of people, and what I really recommend is just let this run once you've set it up. Let it run for 4, 5, 6 days and just start collecting some data. Too many people will sort of hover over this. Within 24 hours, they've shut it off, and they're frustrated because they didn't see any leads come in. So it's something that it just takes time for Facebook to sort of collect the data, see how people are interacting with it. Your relevance score really doesn't even start factoring in until I believe it's 500 impressions. So there's certain things that just need to happen, and just let it run. Give it a few days. And like I said, you can do $5, you can do $6 or $7, whatever you're comfortable with there. And once you start seeing some leads come in, you can always scale this up to $20 a day, or whatever you're comfortable with. For optimization for ad delivery, just leave this at post engagement, and everything else on this page you can leave as is. So I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so once you're on the ad creation page, at the very top, this is where you're going to name the ad itself. So you can call this whatever you want, but be descriptive about what this ad is, because as you A/B test and create other variations of ads, you want to know what exactly is happening in this ad itself. So if we're targeting Chicago and this is a slideshow for homes in the under $300,000, just kind of be descriptive up here in the ad name. Something like that. Now the next section, you're going to see two options here: create new ad or use existing post. If you have an existing post already on your page that you want to use for your ad, you can do that here. But we're going to go to create a new ad because this post does not exist. And I'm assuming you guys have not created this post on your page. So that would not work for us right now. Facebook, under identity, the Facebook page that you want to run the ad from would be selected here. So if you've got multiple business pages, just make sure you're selecting the right one. That's what's going to show up in the ad as the page running the ad. Now, the next section for format, we are going to go to slideshow. And this brings up a little box down below where you can create a slideshow. Now, the option that I change here, I leave this on original and I go to 2 seconds, just leaves each image up a little bit longer than if it was set to 1. And then go to add photos. And, if you have a bunch of homes in here, you can just go through, select them. I'm just going to select these 4 for now. Hit confirm. And you can kind of see them laid out in this timeline below. I would try to get about 8 to 10 images if you can, because most people, if the ad starts to play the video automatically, they're not going to catch like the first image or 2. So that'll kind of stretch it out to, just so more people can see more of the content in the video. So you're going to go to create slideshow once you're happy with the images that are in there, and Facebook will actually turn all of these images into a slideshow, and they'll display each image for about 2 seconds. So while that's doing that, you scroll down, and the text is where you're going to take my ad copy from this section here. Just copy that and come paste that in here. Now you're going to want to change, obviously, city name to whatever city you're targeting. You can leave these little emojis in here. People tend to, respond to these types of things a little bit better. Again, something you might want to test using different emojis or no emojis at all. You can really test almost anything. But I definitely recommend only testing one change at a time. So don't make too many changes and then run a separate test, because you won't really know what it was about that ad, if it's performing better or worse. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just keep it to one thing that you're changing in each ad that you're going to run alongside your original. Call to action, you can set this to something like learn more. The website URL, you are going to make the landing page, and I'll show you where to find that. Actually, basically, when you go to your landing page, you go up to the URL box, and you're going to take the address that's there, and you're going to paste it into a website URL. And then you're also going to use that same URL. You can shorten it. But right here where it says link, and up here where it says link, make sure to paste your URL in place of that as well. Just to make it look a little cleaner, you can use a URL shortener like bit.ly. And it just gives you a cleaner look to the ad. So once you've done that and you've set your call to action, there's really not anything else you need to do. You can, if you're using your Facebook pixel, I'll try to get into that in a separate video. But you're going to go ahead and just hit confirm at the bottom once you're done with all these steps. And it may take a couple of hours for Facebook to approve your ad. Now, I'm going to walk through the steps for the landing page. When someone clicks on your ad, they're going to come to a page that looks like this. And obviously you can customize this, change the city name, change the median home sale price at the top here. But they're going to land on a page like this if you're using the landing page that I've linked to. And it's a really short message. The idea here is to keep it very simple and exactly following up on exactly what they just saw in the ad prior to this. So they see the ad, it resonates with them, they click on a link, it takes them here, And, there's not all these buttons and links and information. It is very to the point. And they have two options. They can leave this page, or they can click on the call to action, which is get me my list. They fill out their information. Once they click the submit button there, they're going to land on a page like this. Now, this is what's interesting about this funnel is, we want to get as much information as possible, but you want to do it in multiple steps, because if you just ask for 4 or 5 things at once, more people are going to abandon that first page. So we got their name and we got their email address in the first step. Now they land on this second page. It says almost complete. So they feel like they're making some progress. Now we're just asking for their phone number, and we're asking them if they'd be interested in a free report on how to raise the value of their home before selling it. So what's interesting about this is if they say yes to this, then we have a buyer lead and now we have a seller lead. And you've got their name, their email address, and their phone number. So if they abandon the funnel or just leave this page at this point and they do not answer these other 2 questions, you still get their name and their email address. But if they take it a step further and they fill out the phone number and they say yes to this, that's great. It's a more qualified lead. And again, you have a seller lead now as well. So when they hit the submit button here, they're going to come to this thank you page. This is completely customizable, but you can link to your website. You can give them a link to a specific page that may have homes in Chicago under $300,000. Whatever you were just mentioning in your ad, you can have that link listed here on this thank you page. So once that happens, you'll get the lead, you'll get an email notification, and you can call them or email them right away. And then the last step, if you're using ActiveCampaign, this is where you can set up your automation. So there's a few things you'll have to set up when you create your account, but once that's done, you come into automations, and I just wanted you guys to be able to visualize this. The contact is subscribed to your let's say your Facebook ad campaign list. You get a notification, so you can say, I want to notify myemailaddress.com or whatever it is. And then they get an email. So instead of this, it might be, Chicago homes for sale under $300,000. And this is a message that you've written. It's an email that you create one time, and every user will get this right away. And then you can tell the system to wait for 2 days. Did they read the first email? Or, if not, resend it. If they did, send them a different one. So this can just go on forever. And you can set up all of these options. Wait for, a certain date. Wait for this many days. And then send this email. So this becomes this long list of what's called a drip campaign, where the lead is getting several emails or even text messages, because you can do texting in here as well, where you're staying in front of them. And at any point, they can unsubscribe. So don't feel like you're being annoying. They signed up. They wanted to receive a list of homes under a certain price point or whatever your ad is for. So stay in front of them until you get them on the phone, or they reach out to you and tell you to leave them alone. Hopefully it's the first one, but it's a timing thing. You might not hear from them from a month, but then they're going to get your email in, let's say, 6 weeks. And for some reason at that point, they were ready to engage a realtor, and they want you to take them out and show them some homes in the area. So, this works very well when you're also calling them and trying to reach out to them. This is sort of just going on in the background. And once it's all set up, you do not have to go through all the manual work every time a new lead comes in. So you're setting up the machine, and then you're just kind of sending people into it, and they'll all get emails throughout the schedule that you've set up in here. So that wraps it up. If you guys have questions, feel free to comment below. I'd be more than happy to help out. And good luck.